Good morning, everybody. Lindsay Ellison back in the building. Another SPS Monday Motivation. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Great Mother's Day weekend. Always love my mama. Got to hang out with my mom this weekend, my daughter and my mother, and it was so cool. It almost brought tears to my eyes, as my daughter's texting me good morning right now. Uh, it's great. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I got one mother I know is probably checking in right now, Michelle Mimi Watkins. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day weekend, Michelle. Hope you had a great Mother's Day. And it was just different this year. I just really can appreciate Mother's Day. I can reflect on it. I'm grateful to still have my mother with me. My mother is 72 years young. Hopes and prayers that our family lineage continue. Our great aunt lived to be, what was Aunt Lou, like 100 like something crazy, like 109, 116. I know it sounds crazy. I got to go back and check it, but like extremely well into her centennial years. But with that being said, see my guy Kyron Harvell. What up, bro? What's up to you, man? Shout out to good brother out here leading the way. I hope you're doing okay, man. And again, Michelle, good morning. So what are we talking about today? What is today's Monday motivation? I'm excited about it. It is home runs versus base hits. Home runs versus base hits. I got to tell you guys, as I love basketball, you know that, which is the reason why I'm on these crutches now, still trying to hold on to the curl, as they say, playing basketball. But growing up, along with my love being for basketball, there was also a passion for baseball. I played baseball as a youngster growing up. Shout out to West 7. If I look through my pictures, I can find some old West 7 photos. Shout out to Jerome. Some of my teammates, man, we had that dark brown color. They call it that doo-doo brown. But it was that doo-doo brown West 7, man. But I just remember that jersey and all that stuff and, working really hard to play. Shout out. But if my coach who came to pick us up was 5 minutes late picking me up, I jetted in the summer to go play basketball. So I was loving baseball, but that was it. But I think this is a great discussion about how we can approach things. And the real reason why I'm kind of hard on this subject, and something I can just forewarn you guys now going into the next weeks and summer, I'm going to do a lot of work and research as it relates to the impact of social media, particularly for athletes, and how it impacts their performance both positively and negatively. I'm talking about serious research already begun, notes and notes. So you will hear me referencing that in many ways. But what do I mean by that today? Another thing, this is a great time to recognize a legend in baseball. The 90-year-old Willie Mays, his birthday was recognized. Often called Mr. Baseball for even the records that he beat against the great Bambino himself, Babe Ruth. Willie Mays definitely did a lot. But we love the home run, don't we? We love the home run. So I did some research. I try to base everything I say off research, whether it's psychological research or data, stats, and statistics. I think that's very important. And one thing that was discussed about the home run, a question was posed, or some could say a hypothesis. Could an unwarranted focus on hitting the long ball, referring to the home run, Kyron, lead to many strikeouts, to too many strikeouts and stranded runners, so that it hurts rather than helps a team's chance of winning? So in other words, if we keep focusing on these home runs, can that lead to too many strikeouts and leaving runners on base? That's like leaving money on the table, because we're trying to hit the long ball where it end up hurting the team. And I think the reference I want to make to this, folks, is to social media. And I can be honest and vulnerable at the same time and say, when you watch social media, sometimes, you see people on there winning, no doubt. I'm not trying to sneak this, winning. And it also can make you say, well, where am I at with things? And I have like a meter with social media, guys. I go from like looking at stuff. Then after a while, I get kind of overwhelmed because I automatically start thinking, okay, where am I at with things? What am I working on? What am I doing? I think it's very easy to get lost. It's very easy to get overwhelmed in the success of others. And I'm not using this as a way to say that's not real success. I'm not having that conversation. Let's say what you see is what you see. Some brothers have a great platform called Earn Your Leisure. One brother's name is Rashard, and they're doing it big. And I remember they made a comment about they were going to get into trucking and invest, buy some trucks. And then they had a great idea was, they took one of the trucks that they purchased, which was hitting a milestone, a home run, no doubt. And then they put their website on the truck. So it was like a double marketing thing. It was hardcore. It was definitely a home run. But what I think what happens is so many times that we get so caught up in the home runs that we forget about some things. So going back to the research, there was some research done with the top 5 teams in both wins and home runs. And they figured those should overlap. That if you're winning, the home runs should be right there. They should overlap if the home runs were actually contributing to the winning. You follow me? If the home runs were contributing to the winning, it should overlap, right? And there should be a strong correlation between the two. So basically, you should be able to see that hitting home runs led to wins. Hitting home runs led to wins, right? Now, they said it didn't disprove anything one way or the other, but it did point to the fact that most successful teams during the 2000s, which is considered the modern era of baseball, they did not seem to rely heavily on home runs. So in other words, it's saying teams that were winning, we knew the Yankees to be the team of the modern era that were winning, weren't really relying on home runs. So what am I getting at, folks? I'm not taking anything away from the excitement that comes with a home run. And then you get the bat flip, you know what I'm saying, which is a way to say look at what I've done. But there's something to be said about that base hit, folks. There's something to be said about being able to hit the ball and get on base. Now, I know ESPN doesn't run highlights on base hits. You don't hear the commercial that say, "Ooh, we got a base hit." But there's something to be said about the discipline of it. There's something to be said about the productivity of it. There's something to be said about just showing up and getting that done, and how a base hit is fundamental to the success. So what I'm getting at here, if you are influenced by the internet, which I think we all are in some way or form, or we're influenced by those who are influenced by the internet, I just want you to get an understanding that there's nothing wrong with a base hit. Actually, a base hit is a good thing, because a base hit is something you can do consistently all the time. So what does a base hit look like in our world of getting up every day? A base hit can be a number of things. Base hit is just having a vision. Let's begin with that. What's your vision? What's your vision for yourself? What's your vision for your family? What's your vision for your business? What's your vision at your job? I know everyone is not an entrepreneur directly. People are working jobs that they've found themselves going from the mailroom to the CEO role. And that's a wonderful thing. So what is your vision going forward? But that's a base hit, just having a vision. Another base hit, believe in that vision. It's one thing to have the vision. I got a vision, man. This is what I want to do. But do you believe in it? It's one thing to be able to say it, but do you really believe it? That's another test within itself. I think we look past that. Oh, I got a vision, but do you really believe that? It's been often said whether you're right or wrong, or whether you believe in something or not, you're right. So do you believe in that vision? And some people have even confided in me and said sometimes they say things to be saying it, they don't really believe it. So do that. Another thing is, how about this? How about showing up? Keep showing up. I'll be honest with you. One of my experiences was, I got some applause from Michelle Mimi Watkins. I hit something. I remember, you guys will look at my experience with, using SPS and being able to transition SPS and not only focusing on sports psychology consulting, but sports media from a sports psychology standpoint, which is unique within itself. I'm happy to grow my platform like that. But part of my success has been my relationship with Michigan State, basketball and football. Michelle says, believe you can't. You're right. One way or the other. That's true. So that's part of it, even having that. So we'll keep showing up. I never forget, years ago, prior to SPS formation, prior to, of course, having the media credentials, I was developing a relationship with Hall of Fame coach Tom Izzo. And I'll never forget one day I was coming to practice because unlike, other closed practices, Michigan State has a practice that goes back to Judd Heathcote. Don't big time people. They have open practices. And I remember being there, several times talking to Coach Izzo, and I was talking more about my interest in sports psychology when I started my master's work and whatnot. And he was like, man, just keep showing up. I said, what? He said, yeah, man, just come on, just keep coming. Now, see, what happens is a lot of times people say, well, if he ain't paying you, or why you go do that, or man, you wasting your time. When that man told me to keep showing up, that's all I had to do was put the effort and show up. I did that. I showed up every day at approximately 3:00. I made my way to Michigan State. I paid for parking every day. That's right. I paid. I invested in myself, and I showed up day after day after day after day. So when you see me having a conversation with Coach Izzo, Or I remember someone going online and reaching out to a friend of mine saying, man, I see Lindsay talking to Izzo, and like Izzo, like he know him, like they got a relationship. That didn't just start in the media capacity. That started for me showing up. And I think that's another way. That's a base hit, folks. Let me bring it back to the subject today. Can you just keep showing up? You know? And then when you showing up, can you show up on time? That's another thing. People may say, well, I ain't getting paid for this, but if practice started at around 3, I was getting there. I was leaving, you know, the one place I was getting my money from, shooting over there. Like that was part of my job. And I think so many times we don't put our passion before the profit. You got to put the passion before the profit. And then many times the profit can't even really substantiate you for what you really want. If you got paid for a lot of things you were passionate about, that money probably wouldn't even give you that, you know, feeling of comfort over you just being able to do what you want. Gym rats like myself who love just being in the gym, or look at the Michelles of the world who love to be on the track, you know, being out there, something about being outdoors and being in that. Or, you know, the educators of the world, Kyron, who loves to just be in a position to find resources used to help the young people. I can go on and on about anyone who comes on my timeline. You know, it's that passion that's important. And what has money showed us in the past week or two? I don't want to get off subject too much, but Bill and Melinda Gates, they about to split $145 billion. Man, I don't even know $145 billion in anything. So despite that relationship, and that's another conversation with itself, that money was not enough to keep them together. Now, you may say, hey, let me learn that lesson the hard way by living through 145 billion. I have to get to, I can't even say billion. We're not even used to saying billion. But my point being is there has to be some point you have to realize that as important as money is and what it can provide, it's about your passion. It's about your peace of mind. Hey, let's be honest. Sometimes it's probably best that you're not in a relationship for the sake of your peace of mind and not being in something that's toxic and putting something that's toxic out. I digress. But what else can we talk about that as a base hit? Okay, a base hit, not just a home run. Maybe the money is the home run, but we just saw that the data showed us that the home runs don't always lead to winning. The home runs are exciting. They're cool, but it doesn't lead to winning. What are some other base hits we can have? What? Being positive 100% of the time. Not just when it's convenient, not just when things look good, but can you be positive in the midst of tragedy? Lord knows, please don't put any tragedy on me right now to have to prove this to be so. But if it happens, I know I have to do it. Because if I'm positive all the time, there's nothing that can bring me down. There's nothing that can hurt me. There's nothing that you can take away from me that can hurt me so bad. And I think about the most important thing and precious thing in my life is my daughter. You know that, our family is, my mom, you know, my loved ones. But the reality is that a base hit is just being positive all the time. Another thing, another base hit, supporting others. Michelle, I appreciate your love and support. I can set my clock by when you're going to come on and say, hey, what's up and good morning. Being able to support others. I see that in you. But me being able to support others the other way, to be able to call somebody, support their business, shout them out for what they're doing, whatever it may be. That's a base hit, okay? Another base hit, be okay being alone. As much as we as human nature want to be with other people, want to be around people, want to have people in our lives, what does the pandemic show us? And many times you got to be alone. Me being a divorcee, knowing that, hey, you can't always be in a relationship you thought you would be in. You know, can you be okay being alone? That being alone doesn't mean you can't be successful, move on and be, you know, gracious in your life experiences. It doesn't mean you got to have your head down in the sand, be a, you know, a negative person. You know, there are so many things we can do that can be base hits. Okay. Base hits. Home runs are great. We love it. We want to experience that. Hey, a home run is a wonderful thing, but those base hits are important. They're everything that they things you can do. So with that, guys, on this Monday, want to wish you a happy Monday. I want to wish you a great week. You know, want to wish you a great month, a great life. You know, our young people are getting ready to transition. They're going to be out of school soon for the summer. I know it's going to be a little different based on all that we've been experiencing, but I hope and pray that you can just be there and support them through this unique transition in time. I just want to be able to continue to support people with my platform, the things that I'm doing as I work to return to having 2 working feet that can move around on his own. I look forward to being able to get out there in the world healthy. I hope you guys are still staying safe. COVID is still real, unfortunately, so we have to do the proper things for that. So I want to wish you guys a great day. Thanks for supporting SPS and the Monday Motivation. And remember, base hits over home runs. The data is in. It says, hey, nothing wrong with a base hit. Just get on base and just keep going. Keep showing up. Keep having a vision. Keep believing in it. All those things can help you. And the home runs, they do come, but you don't have to live for it. And a home run doesn't equal a win all the time. But just keep showing up with that base hit, and you'll get there. Wish you guys the best. Have a great day. Thank you for supporting SPS.